Today's West Yorkshire BBC Radio Leeds. Hi there, hope you're well. It's Shoujo with you between now and 9 o'clock. Today, with me in three fellas from Outwood, who, as I said, just before the news, they have promised me more tales than Aesop and Rupert Murdoch all put together. So we'll see. They've promised me stories on tales on snakes. They've been causing mayhem in the studio so far. They've been filming with permission. And, well, the coffee's finished. So it's just the tales to come. Let's meet our guests, because I've been very excited to introduce you to my guests today, because it's been causing a little bit of havoc in the studio. Thankfully, they arrived early, which was good. This is Tony. Hello, Tony.
Hello there.
How are you doing? Yeah,
I'm
nice.
Fine, thanks.
Thank you for coming. Mike as well.
Hi, everybody.
Mike Hooley, and we've got George here. Hello, George.
Good evening.
Nice to have you all here. Well, I tell you what. Why don't you, Tony, introduce Mike? Tell us who Mike is.
Right. My little friend on the left here is Mike Hooley.
Little 6'3" friend.
And he's 6'3".
Sorry, Tony, 6'5".
Oh, 6'5". He's grown a bit since we've got it studio.
Are you really 6'5"?
It must have been the rain.
He's 6'5", crikey.
His mother used to put him in the greenhouse when he was a child.
Yeah.
And he grows like a cucumber. He's grown long. That's my story.
Right, very good. Okay. And, well, is that it? Are you just going to say he's just a tall chap who used to live in a greenhouse?
Yeah,
Anything else about him?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, that is it. Yeah. That's all the introduction. Mike, are you working? Are you retired?
I'm retired now, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
I'm really enjoying it as well.
What was your...
I can recommend it.
Well, thank you. Well, I'll write that down. What were you doing before you retired?
I was a car sprayer.
A
printer as well. I've done just about everything, I think.
A bit of everything.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sounds
I'm still
good.
learning, though.
You must have some good stories about spraying.
Yeah, I have one or two good stories about spraying. When I was a youngster in my teenage days, I used to... obviously go out courting and girls, and this particular day I'd going straight from work. I took some clothes to go straight into Leeds, and horror of horrors, I'd forgotten shoes. I'd got everything but shoes, and the shoes I had on were covered in paint, of course, being a sprayer.
Yeah.
So I did no more. I put some black paint in the gun and sprayed them over. And
that's one way to do it.
Got away with it. The only problem with cellulose, of course, is it smells a bit.
Horrendous.
Yeah, it's quite... you can get quite high on it as well.
Right.
Although it didn't actually affect me.
Okay,
can I introduce my friend?
Yeah, why don't you introduce Tony? Go on then.
Tony is on my right.
Yes.
It
is Tony Banks.
Is it Tony? Tony Banks.
Tony.
That's right. I've forgotten his name for a minute.
I've lent in that book.
Believe me.
That's what retirement does to you.
Believe me, we're in for a night tonight, I'll tell you, because we can never shut him up talking.
Right.
When we do our shows, we have to pull him off.
With me in the studio, Tony, Mike and George. And what was the last film you saw, Tony?
It was Madonna. I think it was Eva Peron or something like that. Evita, that's it.
Very good indeed. Mike?
Oh, the last film now, you've put me on the spot there. I think it was a film called Jessie, which nobody will have heard of.
When was that? And George?
Lee Remick.
Jesse? No, is it George?
What was that?
The last one I saw was The Wind That Shakes the Barley.
The Wind That Shakes the Barley.
Oh.
What is that? What is it?
It's Ken Loach's last one. But I don't know whether you know about Ken Loach. He won't distribute films with the normal distributors, so his films are very seldom seen by all.
Not very recent films, fellas. This is Mike, Tony and George with me in the studio. Combined age 7,042.
Yes. I did.
No, we'll talk about the family history a little bit later on. No, that's all right. They can take it. They can dish it out. They can take it.
Well, I can't because you're knocking on a bitter now.
Tony, on a much more serious note, today is the 34th anniversary of a disaster that happened at Lofthouse Colliery, and you were there that day. Tell us what happened.
On the night of the disaster, I was underground at Lofthouse in the seam below where the disaster took place. And approximately 2:20 in the morning, there was a sudden surge of wind and all the ventilation turned round. And of course, we didn't know what this was. We knew there was something wrong. And we couldn't get in touch with the surface. The phones were off. And about 4:20 in the morning, we were informed that there'd been a disaster and there were 14 men missing.
14?
14 at that time. But some had gone down an old roadway. But actually there were 7 what lost their lives, and they only ever recovered one body.
Yeah.
And today is a day when we put the flowers on the memorial at Batley Road and also at the Outwood Wheel Memorial.
Today with me are Tony, Mike and George, three mates. They're from Outwood, near Wakefield, if you're wondering where that is. Well, Outwood. Yeah, been through it on the train, yeah.
A61 between Leeds and Wakefield.
That's right, yeah, exactly. Thank you for the coordinates. It's somewhere near Stanley, I think, Wakefield, that's right, on the old railway line. And, Mike, you were just telling me something about a car and a dog.
Yes, in 1971 I worked at Sturton Garages in Leeds, our car sprayer, and we sold this young lady, I think it were an Austin 1100, and she took delivery of it, and she'd parked in Leeds. It was only a fortnight after we'd sold it to her, and she parked in Leeds and left the dog in the car. Everything were closed up, and when she got back the dog had disappeared. And she couldn't understand where it had gone. That she was in the boot and all over.
She swore she locked the doors.
Everything was shut up and the dog had disappeared.
Yeah.
And I hope Jack Wade, my boss, is not listening, but it is a long time ago.
Right.
And the car footwell were rusty, and it had actually scratted its way through the rust and escaped through the bottom of the car.
It had eaten its way out of the footwell.
Yeah, and she came back to the garage next day and hell broke loose.
Unbelievable. Can you imagine?
That's what you call an hot dog.
Can you so the next time you go to buy your car, if you've got someone like Mike there, just watch out. Tony, you used to play cricket over...
I have played knockout cricket, and I got knocked out playing. So I don't play anymore.
Right.
That was a pit knockout cricket.
Today we have Tony, Mike, and George, who are mates from Outwood. One's a miner, ex-miner. One's a photographer. He's retired. Well, he's a videographer these days. He's done all sorts of things in his life. And George,
proofreader.
Proofreader.
Yes, I got paid for reading books.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's not such a bad thing. That's not such a bad thing.
I was also chief proofreader of the Irish Times newspaper.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was spelling mistakes, grammar, everything?
Everything. Yeah.
Yes. Just, what about inaccuracies,
Everything.
Does that mean you know everything?
Well, I won't say I know everything, but I know quite a lot.
So, you do this thing over at Outwood, which is called, Outwood Community Video, and you're basically trying, Mike, to make a video archive of everything in your communities to pass down through the generations.
That's correct, yes. We feel that it's so important, and we've put together an archive with over 3,000 photographs and over 300 hours of film, and we feel that it's so important that future generations will be able to look back on what's happening in Outwood today.
Go on, give us a website, Mike.
The website is www.outwoodcommunityvideo.co.uk.
Outwood Community Video, all one word, .co.uk. Remember, community has two M's in it, so otherwise George will have to proofread your appalling searching skills. Outwood Community Video, all one word, .co.uk, and have a look at what they've got going on there. Tony, Mike, George, thank you very much for coming in today and sharing all your stories from the 7,000 years of life experience. It's been great, and you just want to tell us when your video club meets?
Yes, we meet every Tuesday at Outwood Memorial Hall at 7:30, and it's all hands on.
It's all hands on? What does that mean?
Everybody can use the equipment, the computers, the cameras.
You can have a good muck around?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay. Lovely. And you can send no snakes, though?
No snakes.
No snakes. Well, okay. Thank you very much for coming in. Good luck with your video making, and I hope you're doing a grand job with archiving life as we know it in one particular corner of West Yorkshire. So thank you very much indeed.